Hey guys, this is Chris, and I am back, and I am in Chatham, Kent, on the banks of the Medway River at the Copper Rivet Distillery, and I am with Stephen Russell, who's one of the founders of this distillery, and Abhi Banik, who is the head distiller and also one of the founders, and we're going to talk about what makes what they do so special and different, and I'm going to taste some. You get to hear me taste drinks. So here we go. Stephen, let's start with you. How are you doing?
Really good, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks for coming to see us.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been here a little while now. You've shown me around and shown me around Chatham as well.
Yeah.
A lot of rich history, but no distilling history. So this is something new. You want to talk about the idea and how it's come to be?
Yeah, sure. That's right. There's, let's say, a limited distilling history. We're pretty sure there was distilling, and we're pretty sure there would have been early gin distilling, it being a dockyard town, and arguably probably one of the first locations where gin would have been made in the UK,
Really?
it having been a Dutch drink that was brought back by the military to the UK. But let's say in the last couple of hundred years, not a great deal of distilling. And my family has been in the booze business for 40 plus years, always importing, distributing, marketing, packaging, branding other people's alcohol products. And we decided several years ago that we wanted to make our own products.
You, your father, and your brother.
That's right, my father and my brother. And we started to think quite carefully about what would make a special and viable set of spirits products, and we settled on making gin, vodka, and whiskey, and we have a new make whiskey derivative that you're going to taste, which is spectacular and not to overuse the word unique. And we felt that there was a space in the industry for true artisanship, and I'm sure we'll talk about that as we go through the tasting.
Yeah. Fantastic. Excellent. Yeah. And a lot of what you do is specific to Kent, specific to a very small radius outside of Chatham. Is that correct?
That's right. I mean, part of the real artisanship is a lot of people don't really realize that provenance is not a really big thing in spirit making in the same way that it is in, let's say, a lot of brewing, craft brewing, or the wine industry. You know, you always think about where do the grapes come from, what's the grape variety, what kind of soil was it made in. And you don't have that in the spirits industry, and that's when I talk about true artisanship. That's something that we have thought really deeply about. You know, what are the grain varieties that we're using, and where is it grown? And you know, with every single one of our bottles of spirits, if you so desired, we could take you by the hand and take you to the field where the grain was grown, and it will be no further than 30 miles from the distillery here in Kent.
That's incredible. Wow. So, Abhi, Stephen has this great idea. You have to implement it.
Yes.
How did you come into the process, and how do you go about this?
It was 2012 I first met Stephen. So when he came up to Head University, where at the time I was doing my PhD, as well as I was teaching distilling lab as well there. So that's when we met, and the first was a very casual conversation about if I'll be available to help to take this project forward. So I said, yeah, we will.
So you're a chemist by background?
Well, I have a master's in brewing and distilling.
Oh, right. So specifically to make drinks. Yes. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. So brewing and distilling. So that's when we first met, and we first established contact. That we Stephen. I'm interested in Stephen. Matthew Bob's project.
Sure, okay.
And then at that time, quite funny enough, everybody keeps saying how the gin has become a boom because every distillery is making gin. And most of the time, gin has been the short outcome of a distillery who is aiming to make whiskey in the future, and they want to have a cash cow kind of thing. But I think for this project, it was the other way around. It was when we first met, we discussed about setting up a gin distillery specifically.
All right, okay. So that was the original idea.
Yes,
okay.
It was gin distillery was always supposed to be, but then we looked into how we can make it different. So that's when, with all the experience and knowledge that we